Look at that valley. Yeesh, that big fire blew up. Okay, so it's the end of the day. Can you tell? And we've got a bunch of stuff done. So the soffit is up all the way across. Ignore some of them gaps. This isn't what I do for a living. My wall, a little wavy. But nonetheless, siding and then trim will kite it all, right? And oh, coming around back, I'm reinstalling the scaffolding I took off. And I'm back over there. I do this part when the wife is here, you know, so she can do CPR or whatnot. I can hook my harness up onto the house, but there's still quite a bit of transition there with no harness available. So let's do a bucket truck date here. Few foibles have come to the surface. She's begun to leak a little. She leaks out of that swivel right there, not the fitting, the swivel. Yeah, I don't think there's an O-ring back in there, and it is crimped onto a piece of pipe, which, if I look correctly, goes up into that boom, through that boom, and through up into there, and then around into there. Yikes. So right now it's just a dribble, hence my dirty rag. Right now it's just a dribble, and it only dribbles when the truck is cold. As soon as the system heats up, it stops. So for the moment, that's just what it is. The other weird thing it's been doing, the dieseling, it still does the dieseling. I haven't been able to stop that. Is it started in the last few days, it would just boom, turn off. And luckily with the dieseling, it would usually sit there stumbling long enough that it lit back up again. Which was good for me, because otherwise I'd have been trapped in the boom a few times. Well, as these problems often do, that just got worse and worse and worse. I checked and changed the fuel filter. I chased fuel issues all morning long. Checked and changed the fuel filter. It was, it wasn't a problem. And I was a little worried that it was, zoom out there. I was a little worried that it was vapor locking. You know, with the hood closed, the truck will run 220 or hotter. With the hood up, it runs about 220. And so we know we got a weird cooling issue going on. I put the box fan in the front to see if that made any difference. It didn't. I just haven't taken it off yet. What did make some difference is I stick a hose and I trickle just a little dribble of water, kind of like a demo derby car, right down in front of the radiator. And she liked that. Then it ran at 190. You know, it's got two thermostats right next to each other, one for each side. I'll pull and check those because they're easy, but I think we all know it's the water pump. Anyways, no messing with that solved anything. I called Dad and described it to him, and he said, oh no, if it was vapor lock, it wouldn't start again until it cooled off, so it's not that. And he thought it was electrical. So recommended I start it down at the starter motor, and I thought we had it because those wires were loose down in there. So I rerouted the wires and I tightened them up and zip tied them out of the way or whatnot. And I thought we had it because it was down to, it would do it every 3-4 minutes, and it wasn't coming back on. So for a while I ran it. I had no choice. I ran it like that, and Danny just sat in the truck and restarted it. But eventually it just got too bad. So I went up here and I wiggled all the wires in the distributor. Thought maybe one of those was coming loose. It was such an intermittent problem. It's hard to nail down. And then I found that this this clamp, well, that's tight now, I've tightened it up. This clamp was loose, although the wires didn't wiggle. And when I pulled back on it, the whole truck died. I shoved it back in, whole truck started back up again. So I cinched this, I wiggled it all around in case there was some corrosion, and I cinched her up tight. And haven't had a problem since. I ain't saying that's it, but I did run it for 2 additional hours. No problems. So that's probably it right there. Other than that, you know, just pipe them happy thoughts for all of us here in the West. It's just, I think it's going to be the new normal. It's just hotter and drier and windier, and it's been, you can't keep setting records every single year without it, you know, starting to be a trend. What else? Oh, Danny shut the house, even though I told her not to. There's a few other things. Shower stalls are in and in place, and it's only later. I noticed my note there. I believe I was supposed to leave room for sheetrock on that side for some reason. Not entirely sure. So anyways, it ain't my job unless I have to do it twice. And then here is the nook for this one, so you get an idea. The toilet goes right in there. There should be plenty of room. You don't need to arm wrestle a bear when you're taking a poop. Plumbing wall for vents lines up with bupkis. That'll suck. Getting the vents out the house is going to be an exercise in futility, I think. No, I took that. Well, I'm going to leave that open. I am very tired. And then the downstairs one is in. Yeah, when the wife ordered the green, I wasn't so sold on it, but yeah, who hasn't got a bright green shower? No, it's just some sort of protective coating. And then there's where that toilet will go. Yeah, I'm well aware of just how tight it is. It is what it is. I could not convince the other half that we did not need quite so massive an operation here, but nonetheless, there they are. And I can't remember if I showed you down in the basement, or I know I've done a lot more since the last update video. Sorry, this is the format. I just don't have time. All of the insulation is up in the floor, and all of the perimeter insulation is in, and oh my god, that job sucked. Anyways, here are where a bunch of our vents come down. This is that room right above us. This is the master bedroom. That's the master bath. I'm a little worried that it didn't need one, but it is an outside wall. This is Shay's bedroom. This is the most convoluted duct in the entire house. This goes over and up and all the way across. But it is what it is. And then that's that other guest bedroom. I brought cold air return down. So I got to tap into a cold air return there. There's 2 cold air returns there to tap into. And then I got me a whole mess of ducts just hanging in here. As the one I pulled out of the ditch that one night a year ago. And I haven't installed that bucket yet, but basically this is going to loop between the 2 of them, and then it'll tee into an 8-inch line. And the furnace is going to sit somewhere over there with, you know, big heat trunk line that we'll tap into. We're going to use duct board because we just, yeah, it was actually slightly cheaper than having a sheet metal shop bend up the sheet metal, and obviously insulated board. It's going to be a little more efficient. There's already going to be more than enough heat that gets dumped down in here. I don't need a big old uninsulated mass of hot tin. So that is that is what that is. I am done. I'm gonna go home on a motorcycle and I'm gonna have a glass of wine, except it's gonna be a man-sized glass of wine. I'm gonna make the box wheeze. You know what I mean? And then I'm gonna take a shower. We were gonna go swimming, but went for an exploratory hike with old Shazer there, and went over the top. We found some just massive ancient junipers, 400 or 500 years old, still just clinging to life. So he knew there was a dead one and he just had to have it, so he convinced me to hike up the hill, and he wants me to bring this tree down. And it's like, it's a goddamn tree. It's what it is. It's an actual tree, and 12 feet long and 8 inches in diameter. Sorry, buddy. You're gonna have to get that into some smaller chunks if Dad is gonna pack it on his back off the top of a sheer mountainside. But forgot the lights. You know how many times I've left these on? Probably like 3. I know it's not very impressive, but we never used to have lights to leave on. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'm going home.